Hello and welcome back to Six Sense CEO. My name is Sam. I will be your host today and every single day of this show to ever exist. Today is a huge milestone because we have hit our 20th episode. That is so crazy. And honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself because I used to have a podcast like a few years ago, and I'm pretty sure I stopped around episode 20, but this one has been far more successful. We have far more listeners, and I'm not slowing down. We are not stopping the show anytime soon. We are just beginning, baby. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey. We're going to hit some huge download milestones soon, so I can't wait to share those. But if you've been supporting the show, tuning in every week, or I guess it's been kind of inconsistent lately, but we are getting better about that, which I will talk about in today's episode. But again, if you are someone who's supported this week after week, whenever I've uploaded, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Your support means the world to me, and I'm so proud of what we've achieved together with this show. The inspo for today's episode came from the fact that we are entering a beautiful new year. I am so excited for everything that 2025 is going to bring, and I hope that you are too. I know that for some people politically, it's a very challenging time. There's a lot of heaviness around next year, but I'm doing my best to focus on the positive and, of course, staying informed with everything that's going on in the news. But at the same time, just focusing on myself, working through any fear or negativity or things that we might hear or see in the news that make us feel a certain type of way. I'm very mindful about how that type of stuff affects my energy, and I think you should be too, especially if you find yourself miserable all the time because you watch the news too much or you're constantly tuned in to what these channels are putting out there. Again, it's super important to stay informed about what's happening in the world, especially here if you're American, here in the USA, or in your home country. But at the same time, we can't get so caught up in it that it affects our own mental health, our own lives. How we feel is our responsibility, and that's why it's important to set boundaries with the news or media outlets or things that give us information that may not make us feel that good. I wasn't planning on talking about that in this episode, so maybe it deserves its own episode, but just keep in mind that you get to choose how you feel about 2025. You get to choose what you do with your time and your energy next year. That being said, make sure that you are using those things wisely. And that being said, I just want to take a moment to reflect on the reason why I started this show in the first place, which is to help entrepreneurs, creators, entrepreneurially minded people get into alignment, love what they do for work, and create fulfilling lives through entrepreneurship. So, with that mission in mind, I want to really set the precedent for 2025 being an incredible year for all of us. You might have heard how some people have a word for the year, or a word for every year, I should say. And I don't have a word for 2025. But I do have a theme that I'm going to be focusing on in my personal life and in my work. So for me, it's all about eliminating resistance. And I'll talk more about that in a bit. But before we dive in, I do want to plug my Globe Gladiator membership. Now is the perfect time to join. I'm still running my promo where you can get in for $29 a month with code ENERGY at checkout. I will leave the link down here in the show notes or in the description so you can join us inside and get access to our monthly trainings and get support from me, of course, and our incredible community. I have our sales page linked down here, so check it out and you'll see everything you get inside the membership. So let's dive in. Here's why eliminating resistance is so important for me in 2025. So let's talk a little bit about eliminating resistance and why it's such an important theme for me in 2025. I want to start this conversation by talking about how rapidly AI and technology have advanced in the last couple years. I mean, just a few years back, ChatGPT was not like a household name. It wasn't something that people knew about or talked about or even could fathom what all artificial intelligence could do. Now, I do not work in the AI space. I do use it for my work, but I want to make this point to show you how far ChatGPT has come in the last couple years, is how much technology could advance or even more in the coming years. And it's important for us as entrepreneurs to leverage this technology to make things more efficient in our processes and in our daily lives. This is important. And I'm not pushing AI. I understand some people have reservations about using AI and there's a lot of fear around it. But at the same time, we need to really see the good aspects of it too. We need to understand how it can benefit us, how it can completely change the game for our businesses and our lives. And the reason why I say this, I'm taking more of a pro AI stance, is because I've already accepted the fact that we're not going to stop it. It is not slowing down anytime soon. It's not going away. So if you want to get ahead in your life and your business, you might as well leverage it. That's what I'm doing in my business and have been doing pretty much since ChatGPT came out. There are certain ways to use it that are good and certain ways that are bad. I see it used badly all the time. That's a whole topic for another episode. But I personally use it to come up with ideas, to streamline my processes, and to make things more efficient so I can buy back time that I can use for my personal life or to work on new projects or to just produce more content. I have a very ambitious content plan for 2025, and the only way that I'm going to achieve that is by using AI to streamline some of my processes. So, for example, what I usually do is I use voice dictation to speak out my ideas, get it into a written form. I feed that to ChatGPT, and then it outlines the podcast episode for me. That's one example of how I use it, to use my own ideas, my own human thoughts and creativity, but use the AI in order to basically produce a format that I can use when I record. I have the outline right here on my phone, actually, and I have my little talking points of the things I'm going to go through to make sure that I don't miss anything. That's one great way to use AI that's not relying on AI to do all the work for you. That's not what it's about. It's about combining your human intelligence with the artificial intelligence to build things that would be impossible to do before. Or I shouldn't say impossible, but would take you a lot longer and a lot more work. I've talked about this in my previous episodes, but as an entrepreneur, it's very important for you to be in your zone of genius. So that means that you are in alignment. You are doing the thing that you are good at, that makes you happy, and that is of great service to the world. Now, for you to stay in that zone of genius, you need to delegate tasks to other people or to AI or whatever makes sense. So, delegation is a big part of eliminating resistance for me in 2025 because it helps me focus on the activities that are adding the most value to my business and to my content, which is often actually getting the ideas on paper and then using AI to format it in a way that I can articulate my ideas the best. If you take anything away from this episode, let it be this: the less resistance you have, the more your genius flows. So that's why eliminating resistance is such a big theme for me in 2025, because I know that I have to get rid of these roadblocks, these little things that slow me down and hold me back in order to really reach my highest potential next year. And with this increased efficiency, I'm also bringing in a greater focus on personal alignment and intentionality with my time. Time and energy are precious resources. And I've talked about this in previous episodes. Some of the earlier ones, I touch more on these topics, so go check them out if you haven't already. But you need to be very intentional with how you're spending your time and your energy, or you are not going to get anywhere. And that's just me being honest. If you are not focused on your goals, if you are not inputting time and energy intentionally into the actions that are actually moving the needle for you, you are not going to get anywhere. You're going to get frustrated and you're going to give up. I speak from personal experience on this because I've done that many, many times where I've been investing my time and energy in things that weren't actually helping me. They might have been holding me back or getting me distracted, you know? So always be really intentional about identifying the things that are going to move you forward in your life and your business. Make sure that you make time and energy for those above all other things. And on the topic of delegation, again, it's very important that you delegate tasks that you don't enjoy or that you're not good at. And when you do that, you free up more time for you to just enjoy your life. Or like I said, I invest a lot of my time into other projects like content creation or other things that I'm building. It's up to you, but you need to delegate and you need to create systems for delegation in order to free up more of your time. And in order to do that, I spent time over the holiday break. I mean, I didn't really take a break from work, but I spent a couple hours a day during the holidays just setting up systems and processes in my project management system so I can easily get more support with my content creation, specifically on the editing side of things and also scheduling the content out to be published. Those were two things that were taking up a lot of my time that I've now delegated to my team, and it has worked so great so far. I have ClickUp templates for each piece of content that I'm producing, and I can make sure that everything gets done on time. I can easily check in to make sure things are on track and just overall manage my content creation initiatives like a project rather than just willy-nilly making a reel and posting it or willy-nilly recording a podcast and uploading it, you know? It helps to have systems. And by being supported with those systems, I have one or actually many less things to think about day to day, and I can actually focus on more of the ideas, the big picture things that are very important for me as a CEO to do. And another thing too, whenever I was in phases of scaling my marketing agency, systems were key. Without a solid system, you have no foundation to scale and it will descend into chaos faster than you could even imagine. So, by actually setting a strong foundation, making sure that everybody knows what's going on, everybody's trained on the systems and processes, you are creating a rock solid foundation. So, when you scale up, you actually can sustain that level of scaling. You don't have to be so in the weeds doing literally everything, overseeing literally everything because everybody knows what to do already. So don't neglect your systems and processes. Don't neglect the training aspect either. That's a mistake that I made early on was I didn't have clear training for my team. And that's very important to make sure that everybody feels good and knows what's going on. And on the topic of eliminating resistance too, this also can pertain to content formats. Like if you are a content creator and you absolutely hate doing YouTube videos, why are you doing them? Like if that's creating so much resistance for you that you just hate every second of it, find another platform. No one said you had to do YouTube. Okay. There's so many different formats and platforms for you to try out, even new ones like Substack, that you can really create content in the way that feels good to you. You can choose one platform and just focus on that if you want. You don't have to do things just because other people are doing them. You should focus on creating your own magic, forge your own path, do things your way. That is powerful. Of course, you probably look up to other creators, other mentors, other business owners in this online space, but if you do everything exactly like them, then you are a carbon copy of them and you are not actually yourself, okay? So always prioritize the things that feel good to you, even if it doesn't look exactly like a carbon copy of what other people are doing, okay? Forge your own path. It is worth it. Even if it takes you a little longer to get a specific result, as if you're enjoying the process, that's what matters. And one of the big things surrounding this topic that I've decided to do is start recording audio only podcasts. Now, I've been doing audio and video for my podcast recently, but I've realized that sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm just really feeling fired up. I'm feeling inspired. And by the way, my human design is I'm a generator. So whenever I'm feeling fired up, that's my cue that I need to drop everything and do that thing. So because of that, I'm not completely ditching the video podcast. I'm still going to do some video like this one, but I realized that doing the audio only podcast, opening up that possibility for me to just wake up and record without being fully camera ready or recording a video component, that is going to allow me to be so much more consistent with my podcast because it's a lot faster to just edit an audio file versus a video, for example. So because of that, I've realized that if I want to eliminate resistance, I just need to allow myself to do things differently. So you're going to be getting some video podcasts, but mostly I also wanted to make this announcement. So if you see any gaps between the podcast episodes, like maybe you'll see 21 on video and then it jumps to 25, it's because the others are audio only and available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other streaming platforms. So that being said, if you want to keep up with all the latest podcast episodes, make sure you subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You will get all of the updates and notifications there. And I'm not ditching YouTube, by the way. I have a whole separate plan for YouTube videos that are unrelated to the podcast. Well, kind of related, but not part of the show officially. So you'll still be seeing me upload here, doing videos and different types of things. I just wanted to kind of separate the channels too, because I see them as like different opportunities and different formats. So I'm excited to play around with different creative possibilities on YouTube as well. And a lot of this is simply about having more fun. What is the point of doing something for work if you're not having fun? I've talked about this in previous episodes as well, but I just could not have a job that I don't enjoy personally. That sounds like my personal hell. I invest so much into my work and I get so happy when I do it that I just have to love what I do for work, and that's why I'm so happy that I became an entrepreneur, because now I wake up every morning and I'm like, "Wow, I am so lucky to be able to do what I do and actually enjoy my work day to day and feel so passionate about it," because I know not everybody has that, but that's what I want for everybody, and that's why it's so important to share this message online as well. And that's what my big focus for 2025 is gonna be, is creating your dream life through entrepreneurship, doing what you love, doing more of the fun stuff and less of the not so fun stuff. That's important, you know? My friend said to me yesterday, "You should measure your success by the amount of money you're making." And I don't totally disagree with that. Like, it's good to make good money doing what you love, but I don't fully measure my success through money because there's so many millionaires who are miserable, you know? I mean, I would rather have $1,000,000 than not, but if I have $1,000,000 and I'm miserable, then I'm not even enjoying the money. What's the point? I would rather spend my days doing what I love, even if it takes me longer to get the $1,000,000. I know I'll get there. I'm not even worried about that, because when we love what we do and we enjoy what we do and we manifest abundance to us, that happens naturally. So just remember that. If you are creative and you feel like you're not going anywhere, don't listen to that voice in your head that tells you that, because you are going somewhere. Every post, every video you upload, every piece of art you create is bringing you closer to where you want to be. Just remember that. Through my time in the online business space, I've really discovered my love for coaching and mentoring people, and that's why I started Globe Gladiator. It's because I wanted a community where I could connect with other entrepreneurially minded people and help them through the business challenges they're facing. That's exactly what we've done. It's exactly what we've created. And there's a huge freedom lifestyle focus within our community as well. We focus on building our dream lives, feeling good with what we're doing every day. And I spent all of 2023 traveling the world as a digital nomad. I lived in different countries. I was outside the US more than I was in it throughout the year. 2024, I got into a relationship, and that's why I stopped traveling for a bit, just to like grow roots here more. And I currently have an apartment in California, but I am looking to go back to full-time nomad things in 2025. So I'm actually going to Costa Rica in a few weeks. I'm so excited. I've never been there. It'll be my very first time in Costa Rica, so I'm excited to take you along. And I'm hoping to document more of my travels on YouTube as well. That's kind of why I wanted to separate it from the podcast, so I can have more creative freedom with YouTube and bring you along on my travels and do different types of videos. I feel so much creativity and passion about traveling. It really lights my soul on fire, and that's why I'm just excited for 2025, because I get to do what I love again. I did what I loved in 2024 in terms of work and really building my business more, but in 2025, I'm ready to travel again and invest more in that, you know? I feel so fortunate that I've been able to travel so much in my 20s, and I'm still gonna do it in my 30s, of course, but I just wake up every day and feel grateful, because I feel like I've seen more of the world than a lot of people have seen at this point, and there's just no experience like traveling. It truly enlightens you in a unique way that if you've traveled multiple places like I have, I think you would understand, but you just can't get that from staying in your hometown or staying in the same place. It truly is something that turns your perspective on its head and brings you out of your comfort zone like no other. I'm getting a little off topic because this isn't really about eliminating resistance, but it's more just about getting into alignment, getting in the zone, doing what you love, doing what you're passionate about, building your dream life. These things are making 2025 a year of self-empowerment and clarity for me. I'm not saying it's a perfect year, because obviously there's a lot going on in the US politically, but I am going to make it a good year for me. And I want you to take that same self empowerment and do that for you, because you deserve it. You really do. Especially if you're someone who feels really heavy all the time, carrying the weight of other people's problems. Make 2025 the year for you. So let's talk about goals. It's important to write your goals down so you can actually look at them regularly and stay on track, because it's very easy to get off track from your goals if you're not regularly reminding yourself of what those are. There's distractions coming from every direction all the time, right? So, how do you stay on track if you can't constantly remind yourself of what your goals are? Write them down in your journal, on your vision board, I don't care. Somewhere where you're gonna see them every day. Make it your desktop wallpaper, your iPhone wallpaper, whatever. But just remind yourself what your important goals are for 2025. And then whenever you get hit in the face with an obstacle or a distraction, you can look at that list and say, okay, does this fit within my goals? Is this really important right now for me to focus on? And if the answer is no, you need to let that shit go because your time, again, is precious. You don't have unlimited time. So make sure that you are using it wisely and actually focusing on the things that are important to you. And another great thing to do is whenever you have your goals written down, you should also anticipate what your roadblocks are going to be. So let's just take fitness, for example. I was pretty consistent with my fitness, especially in the second half of 2024, but I'm looking to take that to a whole nother level in 2025. So I go to the gym a lot, but on the days I don't, I usually don't for one of two reasons. One being because I'm tired and feeling lazy. Second reason being because my work has consumed me and I feel like I'm too busy. So, in order to mitigate those two risks, what I would recommend doing is writing down a list of ways that I can prevent that obstacle from happening or overcome that obstacle when it does happen. So, if it's the tired and feeling lazy part, maybe I need to get a new pre-workout so I can take it and get my energy back. Maybe I need to go to bed earlier and actually go to bed on time every night so I can make sure I have enough energy for both my work and my workout the next day. Maybe I need to just have my goals front and center, like on my phone screen, so I can be reminded I just need to suck it up and go to the gym and get it done because it's important to me. Those are just examples of ways that I can eliminate the resistance between me and going to the gym, which is the action I need to take in order to achieve my fitness goals in 2025. So you can do that same exact process with any of the goals that you have in order to make sure you're staying on track and you're actually getting rid of those roadblocks before they become a problem. I just wanted to share that one quick tip because it's something that has helped me a lot and will help me a lot in 2025 to stay on track. I don't want to overload you with too much information because I'm sure right now you're being bombarded from advice from all types of mentors about all the things 2025 and resolutions, achieving your goals, and blah, blah, blah. But just remember that the key to achieving your goals is staying focused. So you can take that information how you will, you can use that information how you will, but that is the key. And for me, that means eliminating resistance. So I hope you found this episode helpful. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. If you are looking to take your business to the next level in 2025, I would love to support you inside my Globe Gladiator membership. My teachings are based on my time, almost 4 years running my own content marketing agency. I scaled it to multiple six figures in revenue, and I built a team of people who support me day to day on various tasks. So I highly recommend if you have similar goals, whether you're a virtual assistant, a freelancer, aspiring agency owner, those are all the areas that I can help you. And I would love to support you in selling your services and growing your business in the new year. So again, you can get in for $29 a month with code ENERGY at checkout. I won't list off all the things you get, but basically you get support from me, support from the community. You get access to our full library of trainings. And actually, if you check in the description/show notes, you can see what trainings you get instant access to when you sign up. So I would love to see you inside, would love to connect with you inside our space. Oh, and when you lock in your $29 a month price with code ENERGY at checkout, you're locked into that price until you cancel. So when we up the price in the future, you will be grandfathered in from your current price point. So let's build some intentional, fulfilling AF businesses in 2025. Let's create our dream lives together. I am so ready to do it with you. I am ready to do it along with you, baby. So that is all for today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, beautiful rest of your week if we don't connect, and a very happy new year. If you love this episode, leave me a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That helps me a lot to get the show out to more people so we can grow our community even more. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Bye.